All right. Hello, everybody. This is Greg Towne here. Welcome to today's virtual training, becoming a social media rock star. First and foremost, want to thank those of you that have joined us today. I was looking at the the registration roster and stuff before we kicked off, and it is, I recognized about half of the names, and the other half I did not. So if you came through us through like some social media marketing or something of that aspect, thank you so much for joining us. If you saw your post getting shared by a friend of yours or something like that, once again, thank you for joining us. And if you took the time to actually share our post or share our training and stuff, really, I want to thank you for that. It is, this is something I absolutely love to do, and I absolutely feel honored and privileged for everybody that I get a chance to work with. I take this time that you're spending with me very, very seriously, and so I promise we'll absolutely give you some of the best content and some of the best material that we have here and stuff. So let's chat a little bit about structure for today's webinar. I'm going to do a quick introduction about myself because, as I said, about half of the names I recognize, the other half I did not. We're going to go with in-depth 45 to 60 minutes of awesome, in-depth, intense training. And then from there, we're going to do a quick introduction to some of our advanced training that's coming up starting next week, January 24th. And first and foremost, I want to say, don't worry, there is no pressure. As some of you that may recognize my name in Washington State, you may recognize it from our real estate practice and stuff. And, it is, if you're on this call or if you're on this training or if you're seeing this rebroadcast, more than likely you're either A, business owner, or B, somebody that's in a professional level service that's also in charge of generating your own income, generating your own prospects, in your own customers and clientele. Well, anybody that's been in that, anybody that has been in that type of position or job for very long, we've all been in, we've all gone to trainings and stuff, and we know if it's a free training, more than likely there's going to be some sort of, follow on or pitch, for lack of a better word, at the end of it. And we've all experienced what I refer to as that dangling the carrot philosophy. And what the dangling the carrot philosophy is plain and simple to where, and I look at it this way. If we're going to spend about the next hour or so with each other, I want there to be value for you. I know if I'm going to take an hour out of my day, especially here on the West Coast where it's in the middle of the day, I call this my prime real estate and stuff part of the, time of the day. If I'm going to take an hour out of my day, I want there to be some really great nuggets, something there that I can really latch onto and say, okay, that was worth me taking an hour away from everything else. And what the dangle the carrot philosophy is like you feel like you're just close, you're almost there to getting some sort of, something of value, and then, oh, no, it wasn't quite what I was anticipating to be. And then they finally get to the close, and anywhere from $500 to $2,500, and you have to fly to California or Las Vegas, join us for a 3-day, seminar, and we'll answer all your questions. Well, I hate that. And my attitude is I would much rather give as much content as we possibly can. Go to our YouTube channel. You see that we put up a lot of videos. We share a lot of our content because, the biggest reason is, what we're doing with business development, there's nothing brand new that we're doing here. We're just doing, we're just taking techniques and, and tweaking it and working out and making it better. But, I would much rather share as much content as I can. And then, when you're ready to take your business to the next level, when you're ready to take your income to the next level, when you kind of sit there and go, okay, this is going to be the year that I really scale up. I want you to look at the amount of just literally the content that we've given you for free, we shared with you to help you. And at that point, we obviously become one of your top companies that you look for as far as training goes. And if right now is not the time for you, that you want to take your business into that next step and stuff, that's all right. Definitely want to make sure we stay connected and stuff, so you can see how to get get into our content and stuff. Checking out our YouTube channels, checking out our new podcast, Go Time, subscribing to those resources, connecting with us either through like Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or Instagram. For me, it's like I want us to stay connected. And then, a question and answer period and stuff. You should see, depending on how your screen is laid out, I'm going to say either to the right or to the bottom, maybe to the top, but you should see a spot there where it has questions and stuff. And so, I mean, it is, I actually can't see that screen right now. I'm actually looking at, the presentation screen here and stuff. But any questions you have, feel free to dump in there, put in there and stuff. Obviously, we're getting together today to talk about social media and how to really build up your interactions and stuff, and how to get your online business to paying customers and clientele. But feel free to put any questions in there that you have of just business in general. During this series of stuff, we a couple of days ago, we were talking about lead generating and networking. On Friday, we have a session just dealing with the roadmap to the sale. So feel free to dump any questions that you have into that chat box and stuff. And for those of you that know me personally, you also know that I'm very big on health and wellness. And because my opinion is, and what I've seen in my life is, and I gauge health and wellness by my energy level. And so the more energy I have, the more I'm able to go out work, and the more I'm able to go out work, the more I'm able to produce, the more income I'm able to bring in, the happier my home life is. And it turns into this, it turns into the cylinders, effect and stuff. And so, any questions that you have, any in that aspect of health and wellness, something that's become very near and dear to my heart personally. And, any questions you have, if it's a question that I don't know the answer to, or I don't, I'm pretty sure between all of our shared resources, we should be able to figure out how to get you your answer and stuff. That's one of the things I love about these types of virtual trainings, kind of borderline mastermind style trainings and stuff. So with that, let me share with you a little bit about myself. Who is Greg Towne? Well, as I said, for those of you that are in Western Washington, you may recognize my name as part of our real estate team. I was actually voted as one of the top real estate brokers in 2016 for Washington State by the American Institute of Real Estate Professionals. I'm also a published author. I wrote the book, Becoming the Friend in the Business. I'm a member of the John Maxwell team. So I bring in a degree of, for coaching and consulting and training, not just sales, marketing, but also a lot of leadership. And I've worked across multiple platforms, multiple industries, ranging in what I typically refer to as the professional type, professional services type of person. So easy industries that I typically, real easy for me to see connecting with, obviously real estate, because real estate is one of those aspects that's near and dear to my heart. The lending side, insurance side, but also to industries that most, may kind of, some people may get us a little bit surprised about. And one of those is being like attorneys or CPAs or dentists, or even other, consultants and stuff. I mean, anybody that is out there that has to, go and generate their own customers and their clientele and provide that top level service to take care of their customers and clientele, we typically find that we work very well with. I always share what I am, the biggest reason I share what I am is because just like you, I'm a business owner. I am right alongside in the trenches with you. I'm working right alongside in everything in that aspect. What I'm not purely just a training company. And I got really frustrated. A lot of these training companies out there, and that's all that they do, is they're purely just a training company. They have never sold anything. They have never represented anybody. They have never had to go out and try, lead, or it's been, decades since they've had to go out and try, do any type of lead generating activities, anything of that aspect. And so, I mean, I bring these aspects up is because the biggest reason I bring all these aspects up is because I want you to know that first and foremost, I'm right alongside with you. Everything that I teach, everything that we work on, everything that we do here is actually stuff we put into practice. None of this is theory. So like other training companies, they'll hear something really kind of cool, and they'll say, "Hey, let's see how we can build this into a training module." And so then they take it to their training company, that take it out to the people that are paying them for training and stuff. And I mean, the people that are paying for training, they all of a sudden become pretty much like guinea pigs. But what we do is when we see, like this morning stuff, I was at a business roundtable, and there was something that brought up about Google Analytics, and I really liked it. And I kind of put it into my notes, and So what we're going to do is we're going to play with that in our real estate company and our own, and the marketing of our training company. And we're going to play with that a little bit. And so we're going to work on it. We're going to perfect it. We're going to tweak it. And then once we've got it really kind of dialed in, then we take it to our clientele. Then we take it to our customers that are actually, members of our community, or they're going through our mastermind group trainings, or they're coming to some of our events and stuff. Then I take it to that group of people. And so, we've already worked on it. We've already tweaked it. We've already, played with it. And then in that aspect, now it is, instead of bringing you theory, we're bringing you stuff that we're personally doing, putting into our own business and our own place. Anytime you hear a pause, it may just be me taking a quick drink of water and stuff. All right. What I have discovered for items that those do that to get the most out of today's session is they turn off all distractions. They turn off their cell phones. They minimize their emails. They shut down their emails. I look at it this way, if a phone call comes in or an email comes in, I get that there, sometimes emergencies happen and stuff, but you really have to look at, is it something that I can hold off for the next 40 or 50 minutes? Or something that it's that dire, that dire of an emergency and stuff. It just, I really do recommend just kind of minimizing out all your distractions and stuff, and just kind of getting, super focused right into here, for the next hour or so. I always tell people, get out a pen and paper and take notes. I discovered several years ago that I would never want to, I never want to trust and ensure my future income purely just on my memory. And so a lot of times when I'm in training sessions and stuff, or I'm going through a webinar or something of that aspect, I have a journal book, and I don't try to write down everything. I do what I call jotting. I jot down notes and stuff. And then from there, I can kind of go back into, so that I can kind of perfect up my notes and stuff. As I always tell people, listen fast because I talk fast. As long as technology is working with us today, this session should be recorded, and you should see it uploaded into our YouTube channels within the next day or two. I always tell people that it's almost like Murphy's Law. I always bring it up that as long as technology works with us, and 9 plus times out of 10, we've never had an issue. I'm pretty sure the one time that I forget to bring that up is when we're not going to get a good connection, or we're not going to get a good recording, or something's going to happen that the software system does not record our session and stuff. So with that, let's dive into today's training material stuff. So first and foremost, what is social media? Well, social media really boils down to is any website or now app that is used to bring together and connect people with a shared interest. If you think about it, how many different types of social media platforms is there out there now? And I would be willing to say probably in excess of 30,000 platforms, just because, we all know the biggies out there, and we all probably play in the biggies out there, but there's also other social media platforms in there that we may have not even thought about, or, that may make some really great, or maybe we should start looking at. So let's talk about types of social media. And I kind of broke it down into a couple of different, areas and stuff. First and foremost, probably one of the most popular ones out there is Facebook, which typically I see as what I call the friends and family social media. Another really popular one, the ones that's actually kind of really grown and morphed into something bigger than what I think what initially started out is LinkedIn. And LinkedIn became more of the professional level social media. And then all of a sudden we started seeing like interest type of social media and stuff like Pinterest, and even Google Plus is now going more towards professional and stuff. And then from there we saw a whole bunch of different industry specific type of social media platforms. In the real estate world, there's kind of like Active Rain, which also ties in your blog and stuff like that. but it's something that, and think about your own personal industry and stuff, and think, it's like, is there a type of platform that's built specifically for me, even if it's partially as a blog to help kind of promote me, but it's really built with my particular industry in mind. And then what I discovered is there is a whole bunch of recreational type of or interest type of social media platforms and stuff. Um, it's like one of my nearest and dearest friends I actually met through a scuba diving, social media platform and stuff. I mean, so it is, you really want to take a look and see, okay, what type of social medias are you on? What type of social media should you be on? So, I always tell people, it's like, pick the social media sites that you personally have an interest in. I mean, I pretty much play very regularly on 5 social media platforms. One of the 5 that I do not play on is actually Pinterest. And I tell people, I tried to play on Pinterest, but you know what I discovered? I'm not a Pinterest guy. It just, I really did. It was, I was not able to get on there and be consistent on it. And that's kind of a key element, is you want to pick a social media site that you have an interest in and that you can also stay consistent on it. A very good friend of mine in the business world, he's doing a ton of work with Snapchat. And if you think about it, Snapchat is typically kind of the teenager social media platform and stuff. And I mean, he's actually rocking it and stuff. And the rest of us in the training, I mean, he's a fellow trainer and stuff. The rest of us in the training world are kind of, we're looking going, how, what are you doing? What are you doing specifically with Snapchat and stuff? So, pick a social media site that where your connections have an interest in. As you're working with your customers or clientele, part of when we're working with somebody, that's one of the questions I always ask was like, hey, how do we stay connected? What type of social media sites are you on? Typically, Facebook and LinkedIn are really, really big ones. And so, I mean, a lot of times it is, we will put out friend requests or connections requests immediately with somebody in those platforms and stuff. And then, as I always tell people, pick the social media site that you want to be active in. Kind of like what I was talking about with Pinterest and stuff. I mean, me personally, I'm not a Pinterest person. I know a lot of people out there that they generate some leads and they do some business, all purely off of Pinterest and stuff. So, but I mean, you really have to look at what social media platforms are you working with on a regular basis? What social media platforms are working with you? And also, where are your customers hanging out at? Where your clientele? What social media platforms are they hanging out at? So let's talk about Facebook here. It seems to be a very popular one. A lot of people I know that there's a huge amount of people that are on Facebook and stuff. So, now I'm going to talk about, first and foremost, my personal Facebook page, purely my Greg Towne Facebook page, where, in all honesty, a lot of my clients are friends of mine on my personal page. A lot of, my family is friends of mine on my Facebook page. Competition, people that are technically my competitors and stuff. They're on my, I have them as friends. I mean, this is what most people think of Facebook as your personal page. And I do recommend kind of being a consistent poster on it. But what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to kind of be that annoying poster. So, I mean, anybody that's personally connected to my personal Facebook page, you'll notice that the first thing I do in the morning is I shoot off something, at least one thing that's motivational. And I do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, first and foremost, it's part of my morning routine. And it's designed to be part of my morning routine so that way I look, I go and I look for something positive. I look for a good message to get the day started with. Second aspect is it's really easy for there to be a whole bunch of complainers out there. For those of you that are on our email subscription list, you should have seen instead of a written article, actually one of our videos we put out this morning and stuff. And it was all talking about, did your customer just have a complaint or was it an objection? And so, I mean, most people are quick to complain. Most people are a lot of complainers out there. And so, what I see is, people that complain and they whine a lot, typically other people are going to jump on the bandwagon, and most people are going to, for the most part, ignore the post, bypass the post, get away from the post. And what I discovered is when I put out motivational stuff, and normally I go looking for a cool picture, and something motivational, something in that aspect, I get a lot of people responding to it positively and stuff. If you think about it, who likes to hang around the people that are down in the dumps are always, complaining. Not a whole heck of a lot of people. But, when you have somebody that, that they, when they walk into the room and literally the room brightens up because they walked into it, they have that type of personality, they have that type of attitude, you want to hang, people get naturally attracted to that type of person. So I want you to not only be that person on a, on a personal and professional level out in your marketplace, I want you to be that person also out in your social media level. And then I'll also do like 1 to 2 posts a day, give or take, just in my personal life, my interests, my family, things that I'm doing. I mean, it could be, talking about, like yesterday, it's like, okay, notice that the attendance at the gym and stuff has fallen off. I guess January people are done for the year. It's 1 or 2 things kind of so that way people that they know that I can refer to it as kind of a snapshot or a window to see what Greg is like at a personal level. And then typically I'll also do through the course of the day 1 professional style posting. Now, we've all seen people out there, and especially, one of my counterparts in the real estate world, he probably posts 10, 20 times a day, and it's all garbage on real estate. And it's all this garbage about how he's this quote unquote super self-proclaimed superstar stud of a real estate broker. Now, don't get me wrong. I will never discount somebody that's out there that's willing to promote themselves, because, we got to promote, you have to promote yourself. You have to put yourself out there. You have to create noise to get yourself recognized and stuff. But what I notice is a lot of people, what I notice is his postings kind of don't get a lot of traction and stuff. And so I've referred to, I kind of, coined the term. I was like, what I refer to as nudge marketing. And what a nudge marketing is just kind of like you're just gently nudging somebody, just kind of gently reminding them that, hey, this is the business that I happen to be in. Don't forget, I'm the person in real estate. Don't forget, I'm the person that in insurance. Don't forget, I'm the person that in, the massage therapy world. Something just a little, what I refer to as a little bit of a nudge, a little bit of a reminder and stuff. Now let's talk about your business page, also known as your fan page and stuff. Once again, I like putting motivational stuff on there. And a lot of times that's, the motivational stuff out there is also going to really help people that will share and like and help you expand your growth organically. I'm also going to put in our business successes. Hey, what are we doing? What are we doing well? We just helped these people. We just took care of this problem for somebody. And I tend to keep my fan page a little bit more of the professional level, where I don't really talk too much about myself. I mean, you may get a little bit of glimpse of me personally and stuff, but for the most part, it's a very professional kind of professional kind of feel. Most industries, Facebook advertising is probably one of the best places for you to actually do some marketing for leads within Facebook. They are just, they're honestly, they're where myself personally, where we spend a lot of our social media marketing dollars into. And it seems like people are, Facebook is just really dialed in. Facebook is more concerned on, the user's experience, making sure that they're putting stuff in front of the user that the user would want to see. Now we take like Google AdWords, or on the flip side and stuff. All Google AdWords' biggest concern is, for pay for click. Every time that somebody clicks on a link, it's that little cash register cha-chings on the Google side and stuff. Now, a lot of people, they'll kind of fall into what's referred to as they'll boost a post and stuff. I'm not a big fan of boosting a post in most industries. Majority of the industries where that would work at, probably somebody on this call or this broadcast isn't a part of and stuff. Because basically what a boosting of the post does is it just kind of pushes it out to as many people as close as possible, in a confined area. But what I've discovered is if I, instead of using boosting the post, what I'll do is I'll actually run advertising campaigns. And the biggest thing is I want to use what's referred to as a splash page. And what a splash page is basically you're getting them temporarily off of Facebook. So they click on a link and then they put them into like a new browser window and stuff. So what I've done is I've taken them out of Facebook and I put them in my sandbox. I put them in my website. Now they're playing in my backyard. Now, we don't shut down their browser for their Facebook and stuff, But at least now I've gotten, instead of them going into, instead of them staying within a video or something like that, a small little window and stuff in Facebook land, now I've got them in my land. Another key element with Facebook groups is to connect with groups. There's a lot of different groups out there. Typically the groups that I see that we work with a lot is those that are in areas that we work and those that we have interest in. So connect with groups, be a regular participant in your groups. All right, now let's talk about the professional side. Let's talk a little bit about LinkedIn. Now, if you think about it, LinkedIn, when it first started out, I almost kind of had the feeling of it was just a chance for everybody to upload and make their resume digital. LinkedIn has now become one of the best sources that, for professional leads. It's become one of the best contact management databases out there. And LinkedIn has really kind of morphed into this really cool thing. Now, definitely you kind of want to keep a professional feel about it. Your postings on and stuff, you definitely want a professional, you don't want to post about your weekend get-together party or anything of that aspect. Keep that on the Facebook site. But I mean, it's definitely want to keep your, once again, I use a lot of my motivational postings will go into also my LinkedIn. And I talk about my business successes. And then also what I've discovered is we start talking about our volunteer and our community involvement. Now, there is a segment of the population referred to as the millennials, and we are now at that point of time where every single millennial out there is at least 18 years of age. So what that means is the entire segment of this generation can, more than likely can now be your customer, your clientele. So and one of the biggie things is they want to know that they are doing business with businesses that support the community, that has a cause. They don't want to they don't want to basically feel like they're supporting daddy big bucks or daddy rich bucks anymore. They want to know that if they're going to do business with a particular person, especially because they got a choice. I mean, most of them would prefer to do business with somebody purely online and that's it, not see a person. But if they know they have to do business with a person locally and stuff, they much rather would choose to do a business with somebody that they know that cares and gives a rip about the local community. Once again, with LinkedIn, you want to get active with groups. You want to look at, typically the groups that I stay active with in LinkedIn is a little bit regional but mostly, business, groups that have a shared common business interest that I have. And another key element is to publish articles. What used to be called blogs are now referred to as articles, and LinkedIn is great at basically being able to publish your articles, and they really do help giving you some SEO traction and stuff. Now, let's talk about types of motivational postings and stuff. You heard me talk about, kind of using images. And the reason I use images is because they help grab people's attention. People can, as opposed to, I mean, I could sit here and I could bang out on my keyboard or on my phone and stuff. More people would learn from their mistakes if they weren't so busy denying them. And, in the Facebook world or the LinkedIn world, if I just purely type that out on my keyboard or my tablet or my phone and stuff, that would probably take maybe 2 lines of text. It would be really, really easy for somebody to pass by, especially in the morning and stuff when people are just kind of doing, they're still probably not fully 100% awake yet. But I throw either like a meme, something that's got, basically looks like probably 1.5 inches, maybe 1.75 inches and stuff. That's going to catch their attention. If I have something that's kind of a cool picture, like to the right of it stuff, that we can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. The horse walking through in the middle of a river or a lake with a little dog on top of it. I mean, that's going to capture, that's going to get somebody to stop and notice and stuff. And so basically what this does is, as I said, for me, it helps me get kind of my day started, my day on the right track. Number 2, I help get if it helps shares with somebody, give somebody some motivation, it helps give them kind of a positive message in the first thing in the day. beautiful. And number three, it keeps me in people's frame of thought. It keeps me, and people will notice me and stuff. I notice that if I fall off, if I'm like on vacation or something, or if I forget to do, if something happens and, I don't do my morning routine, very rarely that happens. I notice people will kind of notice that I don't throw my motivational stuff out there. And kind of once you get in the habit of it, it's really easy to knock out and get taken care of. So let's talk we talked a little bit about photos and stuff. Now let's talk about videos and stuff. Videos are becoming more and more prevalent. Videos are becoming more and more noticeable. And if you think about it, they're actually becoming the norm within social media. And so, it all started out with this funky little website called YouTube, which is now the number 2 search engine in the United States, owned by Google. And trust me, you want to be in good with Google. If you are a business owner or a professional person, you want to be on Google's good side. And so, by being on Google's good side is you play, this is one of those aspects that you play in and stuff. On our podcast, Go Time, I was talking to actually a good friend of mine and a fellow trainer out of Las Vegas. And he's got very big in video as well as we're doing a lot of work with video and stuff. And he told people point blank that, hey, if you're not using video, you have been left behind. There is no, you're going to be left behind. You now have been left behind. And let's think about how this video started. Well, if you think about it, it kind of started off with, services like Snapchat, which when Snapchat first came out, it was kind of looked upon as like, oh, well, that's kind of where the pre-tweens and the teenagers hang out at. Well, then, all of a sudden Periscope, which was tied into Twitter, really kind of kicked in. Now we got Facebook Live and Instagram that's also doing, where people can do videos and stuff. And people can do like streaming services, they can stream messages live and stuff. So, a lot of people that have teams, so they'll connect and, they'll use like Facebook Live to stay connected with their team members and stuff. So, key elements with video is, I've had people tell me, it's like, well, I don't want to do video because I don't look good on video. Well, how you look on video is how you look in real life, and get over it. Is really what it boils down to. But also it is, think about sending like a video text message or something of that aspect. Something that's just a little bit outside of the norm, a little bit different, but it's really going to make you stand out. Now, does this mean that you have to go and get a studio and a green screen and professional editing software and stuff? Honestly, no. Don't get me wrong. Those are kind of cool tools to have, and if your business model takes you into that aspect, those are cool tools to have. But sometimes just literally busting out your cell phone, the video camera on your cell phone will work just as fine. The biggest word of advice I could give to you on this is make sure your sound quality is top notch and perfect. The reason being is because people will forgive a bad video, a poor video quality, but they'll quickly bounce off of your video if the sound quality is garbage. So what's the whole point of social media? Well, it truly is to build connections. It's to stay in touch and to keep relationships growing. That's why I tell people it's not all about the likes, the hearts, the shares, the retweets, the this, the that. It's all about how do you build that connection? How do you build that following? And how do you build that sense of community with those that you're connected with, so that they actually look at you and, in their thought process is like, oh, well, this isn't just somebody that I happen to know on social media, or this isn't somebody that I used to know. This is somebody that I actually, that I recognize, and I know if I saw them in a grocery store, I'd be happy to see them. So how to grow your business with social media? Well, you want to create a relationship. From creating a relationship, you want to make sure you're building a community. One of the best things about social media is it allows you to follow up. It allows you to stay connected with somebody on a much more powerful way than we used to have. Let's just go back in time 10 years ago. We were not able to stay connected and follow somebody as powerfully as we are today with social media. And it also allows you to kind of stay connected, and you see what's going on in their life. it allows you to look and see if there's any other business opportunities that you could go help them, for you. And you have to approach this with a servant's heart. I mean, one of the situations, or one of the examples of this was some friends of mine, some clients of mine in our real estate practice, that they got PCS here in Tacoma, Washington. We're right next to, as I tell people, it's like, should be Fort Lewis, because that's what I knew it as when I was in the Army, but now it's JBLM, Joint Base Lewis McChord. People, and the people in the military, they rotate in, they rotate out. It's called PCS, a permanent change of station. Well, I saw that some friends of mine, that they were getting PCS'd out of the area, so it allowed me to follow up with them. I was like, hey, you've been to that duty station before, you're going to love it. Just out of curiosity, what are you planning on doing with your house? And we're actually able to help connect them into a really great property management company, because their hopes is to be able to move back into this area, So you have to approach it, if you see that they have a potential problem that you can solve, but you have to approach it with a servant's heart. So what are some of the best sites to be on? Well, first and foremost, that's going to be really different. That's going to be really tailored to you. Which sites or which platforms do you personally use? And another key element is, which sites are your customers on? And so which ones do you feel most comfortable using? And then, as I always tell people, pick one, get dialed into it, then move to the next one. Myself personally, I'm pretty active with my 5 social media platforms is obviously Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. But what when I sat there and said, okay, we're going to really dial these in, if I try to dial in all 5 at the same time, I would have gotten overwhelmed, and it probably would have never happened. But what I did was, I first started off with Facebook, and I spent about a week or two Facebook, just getting everything dialed in with Facebook, getting everything kind of situated with what I wanted with Facebook. Then from there, I jumped over to LinkedIn, and I spent probably a week or two of just, getting everything dialed in with LinkedIn. I think then from there, I think we went to our YouTube, then Instagram, and then finally Twitter and stuff. But I mean, really just kind of, pick your first one and start getting it dialed in. And then once you got that dialed in, then move on to your next one. So let's talk about some social media fails. The things that I see that happen are things that I recommend that you do not do. This is one of those aspects when somebody tells me they're a social media guru or social media expert. And I always kind of chuckle when I hear that term. And the reason being is because most people, anybody that tells me they're a social media expert, I get a little nervous about. And I tell people point blank, I'm not a social media expert. I happen to utilize social media really, really well, that has generated income, has helped us do some lead generating, has helped us with our follow-up strategy, and has helped us stay connected with people. But I would never refer to myself as a social media expert. And the reason being is because social media is changing so fast, and there's so many different platforms to be on and stuff. And there's so many different platforms that you can tie into. I don't think somebody could call themselves a expert of the entire social media world. I will always own the space that I take. And that is that somebody that understands how to utilize, some of the social media platforms that just so happens to be one of the more popular ones out there, and really dial it in to really truly get some interactions and connections and community to where you can basically, so that you can lead generate, you can stay connected with people, and you can prospect through it. And you can also market, do advertising through it. So, but one of those fails that I see is where somebody uses, like Hootsuite or something like that. One thing that pushes the same message to a whole different platform of social media websites out there. So basically, like the same message you put on your Facebook goes out to your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your what have you. And I consider that a fail. And the reason I consider that a fail is first and foremost because, most people look at it and they realize that, you're kind of, you're pushing, if I'm connected with you on Facebook, if you're putting, why should I be, if the same thing you got on Facebook is the same thing you got on Twitter, why should I be connected with you on Twitter? The other aspect is the type of person that's going to be active on Facebook may not be the same type of person that is active on, let's say, Instagram. But if you're pushing that same message, you're immediately alienating one of those types of segments of people. Now, for a lot of, for those of you that do follow me on multiple social platforms and stuff, do you occasionally, do you see where we're pushing, we have the same message going out, across the same? Yeah. I'm not using Hootsuite or anything like that. Typically, I'm doing something to kind of tailor up the message so that it will fit that platform, and so that the people that will receive that message, that typically hang out on that platform, it'll be a higher level of them receiving and stuff. Another is not building connections, not interacting with your followers, not interacting with your fans, not interacting with your connections and stuff. Typically if somebody comments on one of my posts or one of my shares or one of my articles or something of that aspect, we tend to interact with them. We tend to thank them and stuff. Another huge thing, and I'm kind of saying this kind of more to fall off on the wayside and stuff, is buying followers, likes, or retweets. If we go back, and it was actually not too long ago, back about 6 months or so ago, it was still very common for people to buy, followers or for Twitter and for Instagram. And the general consumer, the general community, they became, they figured the reason the people, and I personally have never bought, followers or retweets or anything like that. I have a couple of friends that have, and they've all told me that, if they could go back in time, they would not do it. It was not worth it. It was not worth it for them to swipe the credit card and, for them to buy those followers and stuff. And especially in today's world and stuff. I mean, the reason they do that, I'll backtrack here a little bit. The reason that they do that is because there's the concept of social proofing. If I have 10,000 people following me on Twitter, I must be a popular person. I want to follow. I probably should. That person's a popular person. I want to follow that person. Well, now what people are doing is, they're kind of checking out your followers and stuff. And there's actually even some apps out there and stuff. You can run somebody's Twitter account to see what the ratios are of legitimate followers and fake followers and stuff. And so let's say you have 10,000 followers, but you fake followers, and you have 50 real followers. Well, if I quickly scroll through your followers list and I pick somebody at random, just the mere statistics of that alone, I'm going to look at something and go, oh, well, this account here follows 100,000 plus people. They have 3 followers and they never do nothing. It's nothing more than a fake account. And so people in the community, they're becoming more and more aware of that, and they're also kind of keeping that's more and more on their radar, and they're keeping a closer eye on stuff. Another aspect is what I call mass friending. I see this in the Facebook world. I kid you not, every time I think I should take this off of the slide, I see somebody or hear an example of somebody doing it. It's almost stalkerish, and I think people don't intend to do it. But then where this is where somebody will get a connection on Facebook, and then they immediately go over into their friends list, and they send a friend request to everybody on their friends list. Facebook doesn't like it. I've actually seen Facebook shut down people's accounts because of it, or put people in Facebook jail. And the reason is because Facebook is more concerned about, okay, they want to make sure that the experience is there, as opposed to, the Google, every time somebody clicks, it's the cash register going off. And then the last one is using content not suitable for sight. This could be where somebody's kind of using, the LinkedIn, showing a picture of them at a party on LinkedIn and stuff, something of that aspect. And speaking of that, we kind of chatted about this morning and stuff at a business roundtable and stuff. More and more employers are actually utilizing social media to kind of do some background check on a potential employee. And I honestly think more and more the consumer is also utilizing LinkedIn, or also utilizing social media and Google to check out a person before they hire them. I mean, if you think about it, if somebody's going to hire a realtor, or if somebody's going to hire an attorney or something of that aspect, they're going to go look at reviews. They're going to go look at what's your social profile and stuff. So really, you want to be very careful what you put out into your social media platforms anymore. You really want to, I kind of utilize the grandma test. If my grandma saw this picture of me, would she be proud of me, or would she just kind of look at me and shake her head? So that's really kind of the level you need to start looking at to your social media. This is one of our battle cries within my office and stuff, and that is success is never owned. It is rented, and the rent is due daily. I always tell people you have to take daily actions to achieve and keep success. The greatest sport teams out there, the greatest professional athletes out there, they train regularly to achieve success. Well, on top of that, every top producer performer in your industry and all industries out there, they all have a coach, they all have a mentor, along with a game plan that they use to stay absolutely 100% on top of their game. As I always tell people, the number one investment you can always make is absolutely 100% in yourself. So, for those of you that may be joining us while you're eating lunch and stuff, I apologize about the slide here and stuff, but it's one of those aspects I look at and go, this gets the point across. And I've got a good friend of mine that she was a ballerina growing up. She became at her adults became a ballerina mom. And now her oldest daughter actually just got hired as one of the top ballet companies on the East Coast and stuff. And if you think about a ballerina gracefully glides and slides and literally as they float across the screen. It looks so easy. It just looks so, like it's no effort whatsoever. They make it look so beautiful and easy. And that's represented by what you see on the foot on the right with the ballerina shoe. But what people don't see, what people may not know is all the work and all the trials and all the practice and all the bruises and all the, getting knocked down and getting back up and doing it again that we see on the left-hand side, which is the foot that's not covered by the shoe. We see all the bruising and all the hard work that goes into that. That's kind of like the professional person that sits down there and goes, hey, instead of me going to doing this consult with a potential new client and just winging it and just practicing on my client that could be worth, a couple $1,000 or $10,000 or $100,000. Instead of doing that, let me sit down and let me work with my mentor. Let me work with one of my counterparts. Let me work with a coach and really dial in my presentation. And so as I tell people, it's like, are you committed or are you interested? If somebody that's committed, they have an action plan. They have people that they hold them accountable. They have, they invest in themselves. They work on themselves. They improve their craft. They improve their game. Those that are interested, hey, they're just out winging it and stuff. They're having fun with it. They're playing with it. And I always tell people, it's like, if you're interested, own that you're just interested. Don't tell me that you're committed if you're truly just interested. But if you're committed, own that you're committed. Own it and be committed to it 100%. So let's talk about understanding your business builder's game. Let's talk about your business math. In order to get your cash, you got to know your math. We all do activities to generate business. And from those activities, we create what's called leads. We create prospects. Well, we have to foster those. We have to nurture those. We have to move them, quote unquote, through a funnel, for lack of a better word. And those lead into appointments. Well, I wish that I could tell you that 100% of the appointments that I make, I absolutely keep, and everything's wonderful. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Life comes up. Things get rescheduled. Occasionally, sometimes people flake out. I mean, there's a couple of tools and techniques we use to kind of really dial in an appointment and stuff. But, hey, we all experience those that kind of flake out on us, or something comes up. Life comes up. So from the appointments made, so we'll go to how many appointments are we actually conducting. Anybody that's been in business for more than a couple of years, anybody that's been around the block a time or two, you're all going to realize, and for somebody that's brand spanking new, you may find this hard to believe, but you don't want everybody as your client. There's over 8 billion people in the world. I can't take care of all of them and stuff. So, I can understand if you're brand spanking new in your industry. You may want everybody that you sit down with, you may want to do business with, because that may be your only business for the week. But how many appointments are you conducting so that you have the clients that you want to work with and that want to work with you? And while I wish that all of our clients turn into income producing, that we got an income generating activities and stuff, but how many of those clients do you need to get contracts where you actually get paid? Now, let's take this and work the numbers backwards here. So let's say that you want to make $120,000 in the course of the next 12 months. And I picked that because what that means is you're going to want to make $10,000 a month over, you want to make $10,000 a month. I picked that because it makes the math really easy. Now you'll have to look at, okay, well, your contracts, your services, your whatever you provide. If you get, what's your average price point that you get paid when on your whatever service you provide and stuff. If it's $10,000, well, that's pretty easy. Then you just have to worry and focus on getting one contract a month. If it's $1,000, well, now we got to go look for 10 contracts a month. So I mean, I want you to kind of work your numbers backwards and stuff. So in order to get that many contracts, how many clients do I need to have that I'm working with? And in order to get that many amount of clients, how many appointments do I need to actually sit down and conduct and have? How many appointments do I need to make in order to hit that number of appointments that I'm conducting? How many leads do I need coming into my system so that I can make those appointments? And what are the activities I need to be doing on a regular and consistent basis so that I get those leads, so that I can make those appointments, that I can sit down with those people, turn them into clients, and to take care of and solve whatever problem that they're having, and get them under contract and stuff. So if you haven't, write this, put this into your notes, screenshot it, take out your cell phone camera, take a picture of it, or catch us on the rebroadcast and stuff. But this is really, really key element. You really, truly need to know what are your business numbers and stuff. All right. Last thing I do every day is I do a little bit of daily planning and reflecting. I deal with the realities. I cut out the crap. I look as am I operating in the highest and best use of my time. I was sharing this with a friend of mine yesterday and stuff, and I told him, it was like, how's your day? I said, it was a good day. I close up every day and I look back at it and it's like, my performance, my actions for this day, would I hire myself or would I fire myself? And, after getting done with today, I look at it and go, I would hire myself. It is, you really truly have to be present and aware with what you're doing with your day, and you really have to get in depth and detailed with it. All right, let's talk a little bit about our advanced next level training. It's an 8-week business growth mastermind. Now, for those of you looking to fast track your business for success, if you need to generate some leads, if you need to know how to follow up with your leads, and the most important, if you know how to convert those leads into paying clients or customers, this mastermind is absolutely going to be perfect for you. So let's talk about in depth here what's going to be with this, with our training and stuff. First week, we're going to talk about discovering your why. Why are you in the business that you're in right now? From there, we're going to find out, what why you're passionate about, what drives you to go out and take care of people and, take care of your customers, take care of your clients. That's going to help you understand your value proposition. We're going to truly dive into, and we're going to get very intentional. So you're going to truly understand the true value of your time, the value of time that we have here, and how important it is to, that we choose wisely what we do with our time. And then we're also going to dive into is like, how do you set up your day for absolute success? From there, we're going to spend 2 weeks on the roadmap to the sale. I find it funny when people reach out to me and they say, hey, we want some good closing techniques. I want to know how to close. And the really a funny thing is, if you know how to take your prospect properly through the roadmap of the sale, if you take them down through an actual pathway and stuff, you don't need any fancy closing techniques. You don't need any fancy, shiny closing techniques and stuff, because if you know how to take them down the proper roadmap, you know what problems that they need getting solved. And if you're able to show how you're able to solve that problems, the close is really easy. And if you're solving their true problem, you have them on the right product, or you have them on the right service. You're solving their true product. You're not just being an order taker. They're not just showing up going, I need this. And you're being an order taker, but you're actually solving that product, or you're solving that problem. You're not going to get the returns. You're not going to get the cancellations. You're not going to get the ghosting of the clients and stuff. You're going to actually have somebody there that, they're really truly committed for you, and you're going to see your closing ratios go through the roof. Then we're going to talk about networking, prospecting, how to get out, how to connect with people, how to build connections with people. We're going to go a lot more in depth on social media. We're going to talk about how we work within our various social media platforms. We're going to talk about how we set up splash pages, how we do our marketing campaigns with social media. We're going to talk about phone calling techniques, how to utilize the phone, how to leverage the phone to make you money, how to follow up, how to stay connected with people, yeah, how and when to follow up with them, what to do to follow up with somebody. And then also a key element is how to generate referrals. There's this there's a misconception out there in the sales world that basically says at the start of every year, the start of every quarter, the start of every month, everybody starts at zero, which I tell people is pure BS. The reason that is because, if your start of your quarter, the start of your year, the start of your month, you're back at zero, you're basic. It doesn't matter how many years you've been in business. And I've seen people 15, 20 years in business that they're constantly recreating that first year of business. And that sucks. But if at the start of the year and you already know, hey, I have these people that that know me, trust me, and like me, and will always come back to do business with me. I have these set of people that will also introduce me to their friends, family, and coworkers. And I have these referral partners that I work with that will refer business back and forth to each other. And I know out of the course of that in the next 12 months, or as I start my quarter, or if I start my quarter, or start my year, or start my month, I know that in that time frame, that's going to equate out to so much business. That's going to equate out to so many contracts. Then really what you're doing is you're starting out the year ahead. And that's how you build a profitable business. So each week is between 60 to 90 minutes of live, in-depth virtual training. Plus, we do an in-depth question and answer period. You have a private Facebook group with just other mastermind members. This is where we answer questions. This is where we network. And I tell you what, this is where some of my best growth relationships have been in masterminds just like this. We have weekly action items. I tell people this is boot camp style training. You're given assignments and you are held accountable. I always tell people execution is the heartbeat of your business. The second it stops is the second your business begins to die. I find it ironic. We live in this crazy world where people go get themselves hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. They spend 4+ years in college getting this education, and very rarely, if ever, they ever take a class or they ever get any type of education of actually how to go out and build and promote their business so that they can become successful. And the funny thing is because, people will spend so much money in that, becoming whatever it is they want to become. And for an extremely small amount of money, they can learn the skills necessary along with the coaching, how to create a business market plan that will help them generate 6+ figures a year. So this 8-week mastermind with in-depth hardcore coaching plus interactive inside Facebook group, along with daily access to me. If you were to reach out to me and say, hey, I just want this one-on-one coaching, I want this 8-week one-on-one coaching with you, in all honesty, it would run you just under $3,600. That's what it would cost to have this level of interaction for 8 weeks stuff with me. But the beauty of mastermind groups is, because of the size of it, we can leverage the size so it financially makes sense for all. So obviously, we're not charging $3,600 for our mastermind groups. You can actually go on the website. You may have already gone on the website and you saw that our 8-week business mastermind growth, mastermind is $349. Now, you may have, this may be where some of your experience with other speakers and trainers may be, regular price $19.99, but you're not paying that. You're not even paying $14.99, not even $9.99. Well, the funny thing is people sitting in the audience, they know that's BS. The person up on stage, they know that's BS. I'm a very transparent person and stuff. So, this is we build in a whole bunch of value so that we don't need to discount out our prices, or we don't need to start it off with a BS $60,000, $70,000 value. And then, but for you today, $10. And within that is our 100% money back guarantee. So what does that 100% money back guarantee look like? Just like my real estate business, my coaching business, I back up my action plans with performance guarantees. Within 30 calendar days of our last training session, if you have done the work, what I mean by you've done the work is you've attended each of the sessions, you completely show you've done all the homework, the action steps, and the weekly commitments. And if you feel this program is not worth every single penny, we'll refund it to you. And the full amount, you get to keep the content. Plain and simple. So, I promise you with 100% certainty, this will absolutely be the best investment you have made for your career. Our mastermind groups actually start this coming Tuesday of next week, January 24th, 6 p.m. And then we have 2 sessions on Wednesday, January 25th at 12 noon and 2 p.m. All these times are Pacific Standard Times. we have three different, since we have people all across the U.S. that are tying into this and stuff, that's where we have the three different times. If there's one that you're kind of looking at going, hey, I really like that time frame, I want to be in that particular slot, I would highly recommend you get registered in for your mastermind as fast as possible. And then just also putting it out there for the Wednesday groups, March 1st session will actually be held on Tuesday, February 28th. I've already got a commitment that's got me tied up all day. So $349. Let's think about that. What does that truly break down to? $6.23 per day. So pretty much if you decide to pack your lunch every day for the next 8 weeks, the savings alone will have covered your training. And I'm not sure about you, but I'm not sure. I don't know many places where I can get a lunch for just $6.23. Most of them tend to be a little bit more than that. So to register, you should see a link or you should see a tab that has offers and stuff. That should work. If that doesn't, all you have to do is just jump over, or if you're catching us on a rebroadcast, go to gregttraining.com. It's the same website that you use to register for this virtual training. Click on the mastermind groups and click on the buy now button. All right, with that, I'm going to go and minimize out the screen, and I'm going to jump over into seeing what questions we may have had pop in. Here we go. I'm going to maximize out myself and stuff so you can see me. I'm actually in a shirt and tie today. All right, so it doesn't look like we have any questions in yet. So just letting you know, we also have another training. It's the Roadmap to the Sale coming up on this Friday. This is actually the last one of this series and stuff. I think, I'm not sure we're going to be redoing this series and stuff. We do it on a regular basis, but I mean, it's going to be the last one to where you can actually tie in, and especially if you have questions and stuff. Same website that you use to log in, and same website that you use to register for this one, gregttraining.com, is the same one that you're going to use for that to register for that training coming up this Friday. And then along with that, we've also got a couple of other series and stuff coming up towards the end of February and stuff. We've got a leadership training. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. You're going to see that also. You can also register for that coming up and stuff. So any questions you have, feel free to drop it into the questions box and stuff. Let me just take a quick toggle over here, make sure I'm seeing everything correctly. All right. So with that, if there are no other questions and stuff, we're right now just over the top of the hour. And so just wait and see if any last minute questions or anything like that pop up, which I'm not seeing. So with that, I'm going to wish you guys the best of the day. Go out, rock it, kick some butt. Let's go do some, serious business 2017. Stay connected with us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Comment on our YouTube channel. Comment on our Podbean, podcast Go Time. Connect with us through LinkedIn or Facebook and stuff. So we've got a group, page and stuff for the podcast Go Time. Also, we've got the fan page and stuff. Greg Towne Speaker. Connect with us. And as always, looking forward to connecting with you guys. And until we see each other again, make it a great day.
CEOs see it clearly in the profit and loss statement. Managers feel it, and your customers notice it. The difference between a motivated and inspired sales staff and those that are stuck in a rut. The question is, how do you get your team to the next level? Is there something you can do to break through the resistance and help them get the right mindset to grow your business? The answer is yes, there is. But you're not going to do it with one of those cheesy inspirational speakers or a self-proclaimed guru. What you need is someone with a proven track record in sales, marketing, and leadership. A person that can give key insights in an captivating way to give your team the right tools to succeed in today's marketplace. Meet Greg Towne, experienced leader, innovative thinker, and elegant speaker. He's ready to deliver the message your people need to hear. Not with a canned speech, but with a customized, dynamic keynote designed to deliver results. Bring Greg to your next event before the competition does.